And honestly, I am here to save everybody. I'm just not here to retain everybody. I don't think it's all about the money. I don't, because we knew what the salary was when we signed the contract, right? But what we didn't anticipate was the lack of support from administration or some of these lofty goals that district has. So now we have unrealistic expectations met with lack of support from administration, and there's an impossible situation. And that's why when they polled teachers at the end of school last year, 55% of them said that they considered a career change. 55% is an astronomical number for somebody to say, I don't think this is something I want to do anymore. And it's easy to reduce it to money. Everybody knows the teacher's salary. Everybody knows that teachers aren't one of those high paying jobs. And it's easy to say that if I was making more money, I would stay. Or if we give teachers more money, then that's what would retain them. And first of all, I'm a huge advocate for teachers making more money. I really think that teachers should. It is a selfless job. It is one that requires so much. And definitely teachers should get paid more money. But I also think that that's not going to solve all of the problems. So I researched some of the top reasons why teachers are considering a switch. And here's what I found. In no particular order, teachers are complaining about burnout. Teachers are complaining about a lack of support and a lack of resources. They're complaining about student behaviors. They're complaining about parent relationships, and then they're complaining about low wage. So what I'm thinking is these are a whole bunch of different things that we can't just reduce to money. And yes, money will help, but I believe that money will help initially, but money won't help permanently. I think money will help in the early goings. Once we get that bonus, then it feels good, but I don't think that it eradicates everything else that's going on. I think about it like if we were to give, say, a person in poverty a couple $1,000,000. We've seen things like this before. If we were to give them a couple $1,000,000, then 3 years later, they end up back in poverty, we kind of wouldn't be shocked because all we did was give them a couple $1,000,000, but we didn't necessarily help them with financial literacy, or we didn't help them learn how to budget, because a budget tells your money where to go, so you don't wonder where it went. We didn't help set them up with a financial coach that helped with financial planning and teaching them how to save and invest and make wise financial decisions, right? We just gave them a lump sum of money. The money is not going to solve all the problems because I heard before that being in poverty is not just a reflection of your wallet, it's more of a mindset. So if we just give them the money, they're still going to spend the money the same way that they were spending the little bit of money that they had before. And now it's all going to be gone. The reason why I'm bringing this up as an analogy is not because I'm trying to say that teachers are like an impoverished person. What I'm saying is there are so many different underlying issues that just throwing money at it isn't going to be enough to completely solve all the problems. Pursuit of excellence moment. If I were to give you $40,000 on top of what you're making right now, do you think it would erase all the rest of your complaints? So $40,000 on top of the salary that you're making. For some people, that's going to be doubling your salary. But $40,000 on top of what you're making right now, but you still have to deal with the same things that you're dealing with now. Do you think that is going to erase the rest of your complaints? I want you to answer that in the comment section down below. My stance on this, my personal belief is that if I were to give you $40,000 on top of what you're making right now, and you still had to deal with the student misbehaviors, right? You still had to deal with students wanting to spit in your face, or still dealing with students that are talking bad about you, that are disrespecting you to your face. Still have to deal with those parents that the students can do no wrong in their eyes. Still have to pick up that phone and make that parent communication that you really didn't want to communicate. Right? You still have to deal with the administrators that are declining your day off request to deal with your sick child. Still having to deal with all of those things. But you have $40,000 on top of what you're currently making. I don't see that as a permanent solution. I do believe it's a start. And honestly, to anybody listening, listen, zoom in to anybody who's hearing this. Let's go ahead and increase teacher wages across the nation, across the world. I truly believe that it is deserved. But I also just want to let all my teachers know that I don't think that is the solution and that is the final answer. Until that happens, if you're interested in how you can make more money as a teacher while you're currently doing the things that you're doing, I've linked a free PDF blueprint in the description below talking about my top 10 ways to make more money as a teacher. Go ahead and check it out. Grab it. It's free. I think it's something you'll really be interested in. But I want you to consider these 3 things when we're talking about teacher retention and as we're talking about dealing with some of the things that we're seeing in education. 1, I want you to decide if this is even your fight. Decide if it's even your fight, even your battle that you have to show up for. In one of the recent videos, I talked about the fact that education and teaching is not the only way that somebody can make an impact. And people don't think that I'm going to say that because they think I'm here to save everybody. And honestly, I am here to save everybody. I'm just not here to retain everybody. Education isn't for everybody, and I recognize that. I understand that, and I never want to put somebody in a box. As you know, I want people to be able to live the life that they choose, not the life that they force to settle for. If you find yourself in a situation where education is the career that you're settling for, I don't want to hold you back. I'm not trying to retain you and keep you in that box. I still want you to go out and live the life that you choose. I'm trying to help save you, and saving you may not necessarily be through education. In the last video, we talked about some principles that I adopted from the book The Dip by Seth Godin. And if you want to check it out, I'll link it in the description below. And if you want to listen to it on Audible, check out my link again in the description below, where you can get a free trial on me. So when I think about the principles I learned in that book, sometimes it is time to quit. Sometimes it's time to stick. Like, not every pain is meant to be endured. Sometimes the things that you're going through are signifying that this is not for you. And, fun fact, I've quit 9 jobs in my life. And if I never quit anything, I would still be a paper boy in New York, because that was my first job. If I never quit anything, that's what I would be doing to this day. But people evolve, people change, and people want different things for themselves. So even in education, I don't want us to view the career as a teacher as if this is something, if I quit, I'm giving up on students, or if I quit, I'm doing something wrong. It may not be for you. So the first thing I want you to do is decide, is this even your battle? But I have, for those that are willing to stay, tip number 2, equip yourself with tools, tips, strategies, and resources. So first, decide if this is even your battle. And once you decide that it is, equip yourself. And I can help you. I'm not the only one, but my goal is to help you see success sooner, especially my middle school teachers, where I can give you tools, I can give you tips, I can give you resources from some of the things that I've seen to be successful, so that you don't have to deal with necessarily all the struggles that I've dealt with. And as you see some things, I can help you see success sooner and really maximize student growth and really be the best version of yourself in the classroom. Because after you decided that this is something that I want to do, it's not going to be easy, but I can guarantee you that it's going to be worth it. And then number 3, after you decided that this is your fight, after you equip yourself, then you've got to fight. You've got to show up, and there are going to consistently be things that bother you. But just because it bothers you doesn't mean you've got to let it beat you. Equip yourself with tools, strategies, and resources. Find communities that are going to help push you. Iron sharpens iron. Once you made those decisions and once you're committed to the process, then you got to fight. You got to show up every day. And I promise you, I'm going to be with you every step of the way, because my whole goal is just to help make sure that you are helping enough people live the life that they choose and not the life that they're forced to settle for. And I know that that starts with developing life skills, mindsets, and character within students. So I'm going to be behind you, pushing you. And as long as you're committed to showing up, I'm committed to be with you every step of the way to make sure we really make a difference on this earth. In the next video, we're going to talk about some terrible things that administrators have done, and I hope that none of them have ever happened to you. But in the meantime, check out this video right here at the top if you're thinking about quitting, and check out that video there at the bottom if you are committed to staying. Both of those will be useful. I'll see you in the next one.